This is Heavy Metal Air Pollution by Ethan Hoy. So, first I want to talk about what air pollution is. The World Health Organization classifies air pollution as contamination of indoor or outdoor environment by any chemical, physical, or biological agent that modifies characteristics of the natural atmosphere. So, what this is saying is anything that really changes the makeup or composition of the atmosphere can be defined as air pollution or contamination. The World Health Organization also claims that almost 99% of the air that we breathe as a global population is considered contaminated. And that is at worst in lower or middle income countries. So, third world countries, this is worse. I find this really interesting because as people, we don't really think that 99% of the air that we're breathing is likely contaminated in some way, shape, or form. So I also, for my pollution, we got heavy metals. So I wanted to talk about what heavy pollutions are and where it occurs. Heavy metal air pollution occurs when heavy metals are released into the environment at harmful levels. This issue is caused by anthropogenic activities, including mining, smelting, and other metal-based industries. Heavy metals enter the human body from four different ways: ingestion, inhalation, drinking, and skin contact. And then I went ahead and listed some of the heavy metals. Some of the significant ones are lead and mercury and arsenic. Those are pretty common to affect us as humans. Next, I want to talk about where the heavy metals come from. Heavy metals come from a variety of sources, but typically they're from mining, improperly stored waste, or just industry as a whole. So whenever we think industry, we think of factories, what's building something. A lot of the times, like for example, with industry, we see factories like uh, car factories and whatnot cause this kind of heavy metal air pollution because they release these toxins into the air after they're done making their product. What are the environmental impacts of heavy metal air pollution? Well, we have soil contamination, water pollution, plant toxicity, which is when heavy metals interfere with the photosynthesis or nutrient uptake of plants and overall plant health. Air quality and human health can be greatly affected. I have another slide where I detail some of the more impacts on human health. Biodiversity tends to decline when we have an excess of heavy metals in the air. And then acid rain. Acid rain will dissolve metals or heavy metals and move them or increase their mobility within the environment as dissolved ions. This can be a very big problem because it basically allows heavy metals to reach other places of our environment with the soil that we wouldn't typically expect to find them, and they can cause a lot of harm in being places like that. Some of the impacts of heavy metals air pollution on human health is the membrane and DNA damage that they cause, uh, perturbation of protein function and enzyme activity, so inhibits the protein functions and enzymes, the affecting central nervous function, which means that it affects your cognitive ability, basically. It can lead to mental disorders or damage to blood constitutes. Harm to vital organs such as lungs, liver, kidneys. A lot of the times, this is what we most commonly associate with heavy metal pollution. We see that organs are really harmed, like the lungs, the heart, the kidneys, and this is because these heavy metals inhibit the functionality of these organs specifically. So, some of the economic impacts of heavy metal air pollution is the cost increased medical expenses due to respiratory illness. So we basically see that we have, as a society, more healthcare costs because people tend to be ill with respiratory sickness, especially because we're talking about heavy metal air pollution. Workforce productivity is also lost a lot of the time, where people are unable to work because of the fact that the air is polluted. We also have agricultural losses, so we see a lot of loss in products and foods with heavy metal air pollution. The air pollution has an estimate or a cost estimate to the global economy of $2.9 trillion. This is significant because that means that we lose about 3.3% of the world's GDP every single year to um, air pollution specifically. What can be done? Photomediation is a solution that we have come up to with as potentially being able to remove these heavy metals from the environment. The idea behind this is that we use plant-based or photosynthetic-based technology that can extract and remove elemental pollutants and lower their availability in things like soil and water, so different matrices. This is significant because it allows us to target certain ions that we need to remove that are causing harm to the environment and do so. And then here are some of the references that I have. And additionally, I have my essay question right here, which is, do you believe that you or someone you know has ever been affected by air pollution? Did this pertain to heavy metals? If so, what kinds of metals affected you or someone you know? Did this cause health complications? And can you elaborate what kind? What I'm really trying to ask you is, has air pollution ever affected you, and was it related to heavy metals? And how did this affect you or someone you know? Did it cause health complications? Did it cause organ failure? Things like that. I just want you guys to think about the possible impacts that air pollution and heavy metals can have to you.